I want to focus in on the work you're doing really specifically with the Stellar Foundation. And I mentioned the mission in introducing you, creating equitable access to the global financial system. Talk about that mission and talk about how you are starting to tackle that very, very immense problem, that Harish helped articulate for us in the numbers.
Yeah, no, that was awesome to hear those numbers. I mean, we focus on just a few of those numbers in terms of 1.7 billion adults globally are unbanked. And so from our standpoint, if you think about that number, but then you juxtapose that with 2/3 of them actually have mobile devices.
Right.
And so if we can actually take those two numbers and put them together and try to solve that problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can see where the value of something like this can happen, and folks can get access to it. So for us, we tried to synthesize our mission into that one sentence, creating equitable access to the global financial system, recognizing though that that's a mission that takes a really long time to accomplish. So you kind of got to break it up in bite-sized chunks. Yeah. And so for us now, what we're focused on is really developing what we call a minimum viable or even larger ecosystem, to think about making sure all the players in that whole stack are there, so that this technology layer can actually really be pushed out to the world in a way that's that can solve some of the problems that we just heard about this morning. And you got to think about it as, again, like there's this underpinning, which is the blockchain, but then there's stable coins, which you obviously know so much about, and how those stable coins interact and create the opportunity to go from fiat currency to digital currency back to fiat. So if you so choose, and to go in and off and on and off the blockchain. What we really need to do from, Stellar is a public blockchain. And what we really need to do is create those, what we call in our ecosystem, anchors. Mm-hmm. So those on-ramps and off-ramps that you can actually get in and out of the blockchain from fiat to digital to fiat. And so our focus, the bite-sized chunk that we're focused on, at least for this year, is really developing even more. We have many that are already participants in the ecosystem. Yeah,
I've seen that. Yep. A lot of activity in the stablecoin space with Stellar.
And we have, and we would like a lot more, even Circle. We would like Circle. So to have these corridors open so that you can actually see payment channels, and you can see folks actually interacting and using this for remittances and just for cross-border payments. It's already pretty great, but it's that bite-sized chunk of growing that anchor base and creating the financial institutions, which aren't necessarily banks. They're they come in different shapes and forms. They're all regulated on the edges, and so that's an important piece, because regulators know how to deal with money. And so I think that's an important component too. So that's our core focus, is to work with regulators to get them comfortable with blockchain generally, and to get them to understand that this is actually enhancing their system and their ability to be able to provide even more access to their constituents.